Today we're going to talk about a pen by Platignum, but when I say Platinum in this context, I don't mean Platinum as in Platinum Preppy or Platinum 3776. No, I mean Platinum as in Platignum. It's a whole different brand, Platinum. It's with a G, and as far as I understand, you actually pronounce it as Platinum, not as Platignum. I always thought it was Platignum, but that's probably a mixture of French, English, whatever. As I said, whatever. It says Platinum, London, 1919. 1919, that was the year my grandfather was born. This brand has been around for a while, and today we're going to be talking about their pen called the Studio, which is not the Lamy Studio. It's a whole different pen. So it's Platinum, but it's not Platinum, and it's Studio, but it's not Lamy. Got it? Boom. There we go. All right, you got the box. The box is funny. It slides out. You get this bit. Then you have a little bit of plastic covering, which is actually quite hard to get out. Right, you got it? Got it out. You got the pen. Take out the pen. No, wait. Okay, so you got the box. You got the little bit of sort of prefab model bed for your pen thing. Comes with 2 cartridges. Don't need that. Don't need this either. 2 cartridges which look a lot like standard international long cartridges, but they are not. Don't make the mistake of believing that, because regular international cartridges might well not fit, so be careful. And the difference is the nipple. Look at the nipple. This is a very extensive nipple. It's very long, and that will the standard international cartridges have shorter nipples, so it won't fit. Okay, but you get 2 of these, 1 blue and I'm assuming 1 black with the pen, which I think is quite nice. Then you have the actual pen. Cover the parts. Tell what I like about it, what I don't like about it, and I'll do a writing sample. Okay, so first of all, these are a little hard to obtain. I got this as a gift. But if you want this, you'll have to shop around a bit, because not a whole lot of stores carry them anymore. Alright, past the pen. On top of the cap, there is a little black thing. You can get these in a bunch of colors. I got the black and white version, which is a little bit like a Stormtrooper. I would say this is a Stormtrooper of pens, if that makes sense to you. A little black button thing there, nothing too fancy. We have the clip. I love this clip. This is just the amount of tension I like. It's not so much tension that you can't open it, and yet it is enough tension to really snap in place and make sure your pen will stay in place in your shirt pocket or pouch or whatever you have. Alright, I like the shape of the clip, the end of the clip. Let me just show you instead of just stammer. It has a sort of a diamond shape, as in a card diamond, you know, the game of cards. And I think you can actually see there's another diamond on there. And when you have a good look at the end of that clip, it actually looks like a fountain pen nib with a breather hole and a nib slit. I think that is a beautiful bit of detail. Very nice for a clip. Center band is black. We have a barrel. This is metal, and the cap is metal too. So it's a decent weight. I think it's about 30 grams or something. It's fairly heavy for a pen of this caliber. Then it says Platignum, or Platinum again, on the barrel. I'm sure you can see that. I'm just not sure whether I can focus. Yes, there we go. With again that little diamond-like design in black. And at the end we have a little lip and a sort of button thing, which doesn't do anything. It's just there because they thought it looked cool or something. Alright. Posts, not extremely tightly, but it does post, and it sort of clicks in place. When you do that, you get a nice pen, decent size, and it feels fairly robust because it's all metal and stuff. The section is a bit rubbery. Where did I? Oh, that's on the Parker Frontier. It's sort of that kind of material. It's I guess it's plastic, but it has a little bit of a rubbery feel to it. Now we have the nib. It's a simple nib. Doesn't have anything on there, no names or whatever. Now let me try to show you a close up there. But it's decent. You can only get this in this medium size, nothing else, no fine, no broad, no italics, no stubs, no obliques, no flex, no calligraphy, just this medium nib. So that's kind of a restraining factor, but you know, that's what you get. Okay, so you have these very odd cartridges, proprietary cartridges, and the person who gave this to me was kind enough to provide me with one of those Monteverde mini converters, which happened to fit. And that's, I guess, an accident. I have some Chinese converters here which should be universal. I tried to put them and they didn't fit. So he was right. If you want to go for a converter, I would go for the Monteverde mini converter, not anything else. We know that this fits. It doesn't hold a whole lot of ink, but it's what you get. Alright, screw that back in place. Anything else I should say? The grip section is nicely tapered, has a bit of a lip right there, which you probably can't see, but I'm sure that keeps the cap in place. That's all there's to it. You can unscrew the nib and feed unit. I'm not sure whether you can actually pull them out of the nib collar. I haven't tried that. That's all there's to it. Alright, so nice pen. What do I like about it? What do I not like about it? Well, I like it has a pretty robust feel because it's metal. It's not super heavy, but it's not light either. It's a nice weight. I like that, and I like that robustness that metal gives you. It doesn't feel like it will crack if you squeeze it, for example. I think it's fairly comfortable to hold. I think it's pretty nice. So that's that's what I enjoy. I like the fact you can get them in multiple colors. I like the white version actually. I don't think I have a whole lot of white pens, but I know that some people really love them. Well, you should consider this one. Anything I don't like about it? Well, clearly you are restrained. You're restricted when you can only get a medium nib, and I suppose the cartridge issue may put some people off because they're a little odd. I mean, they are proprietary and they look like Saturn International, but they're not. And these are actually 2 points raised by the person who gave this to me as a gift, and I agree with him. I think that those could be issues. However, as you can fit in a Monteverde mini converter, if you want to use bottle ink, it's not really a problem. And yes, those converters will not hold that much ink, but too bad. It'll work. And that's pretty much all there's to it. Decent little pen, funny to use. I think we need to do a writing sample. So that's what I'm going to do next. I hope this was useful, and I'll see you later. Bye-bye. Alright, so there we go. The Platignum, or Platinum, or Platignum, or Platignum, or whatever. Let me just call it Platinum to avoid confusion. Note the hard start. May well have been me misaligned the nib, I'm not sure. The nib is that medium because it's the only one you can get. And the ink is an ink that many of you have been awaiting me to get. Noodler's Liberty Elysium. It's Liberty Elysium, right? Or is it Liberty's Elysium? No, I thought it was Liberty Elysium. Sorry. Nice blue. I like this. Nice, not too bright, not too dark. It's a nice color. Bit of writing. You may... I'm not sure whether my mic picks it up, but... the nib gives you some feedback. Is it bad feedback? Well, when it comes to I don't know. When it comes to nibs, you have nibs that are downright scratchy. Then you have nibs that are not really scratchy, but they give you a bit of feedback. This is in between the two. I wouldn't call this extremely scratchy. I've used scratchier nibs, but I've used smoother nibs too. It's not just feedback, I think there is some scratch to it. So what I would do is get some micro mesh and just smooth it out myself. Okay, what about fast writing? Okay, so we see some skipping there. I saw some here, right there. It's mostly on the upstrokes. You see this bit. Downstrokes are good. I could try to increase the flow on this nib a bit, but of course first I would use it with another ink. I've only used Liberty's Elysium. Maybe it's that ink that doesn't really agree with this pen, who knows? Maybe it's this pen doesn't agree with the ink. Doesn't really matter. What matters is that you try 2 or 3 inks and then you decide whether you want to do anything about it. As you can see, a fairly consistent patch of ink, fairly nice and wet I would say, but it's not a gusher. So I mean, See, it's dry fairly quickly. Of course, that's also a property of the ink, but if you have a really wet pen, I always use my Delta Dolce Vita for that purpose. This is a really wet pen. It doesn't really matter whether the paper is the type of paper that dries quickly. It doesn't really matter whether the ink is an ink that dries quickly. I'm just buying me some time here. I've waited and it's still completely wet. So this is a really wet pen. This pen doesn't do that. If I do what I just did, just put some ink here, I'm getting paper fibers in the nib, again showing a bit of the scratchiness. And I just do that and I wait. I do this, then it's just dry. So, I mean, this is a drier pen. So, well, I mean, there you have it. Line variation. Getting that paper up. No pressure. More pressure. Well, you can squeeze some out there. Actually a bit more than I expected, but you have to really push down on the nib. But then you can get a bit of line variation out there. It wasn't advertised as flex nib or anything, so that should be fine. Okay, there you have it. Platignum Studio. I hope... Oh, look, I got ink on my white pen. You see everything on white pens. I hope this was useful, and I'll see you later. Bye-bye.